adventure.
We need to toughen you up.
Hey, I know tough.
Mark, you are the mega fan here of Garfield, so I wanted to get, obviously, briefly, your thoughts on Garfield. Just the idea of this movie going into the theater. Like,
come on in, come to the place where fun never ends. Come on in, it's time to fight about Garfield and friends. You remember that song?
No, because Mark, I didn't watch a lot of Garfield. Your whole energy changes. You know what? I don't want to do this fucking podcast. I don't want to do this fucking podcast anymore.
But, you don't watch any fucking Garfield, you piece of shit?
I mean, I watched that CG one on Cartoon Network. That was dog shit.
That was a dog shit one!
That's why
you weren't supposed to do that!
Well, blame Cartoon Network.
But Garfield is like, I used to watch Garfield and Friends.
Oh, no, I did see the Bill Murray one. Apparently that was good.
You can check. This is the end of the ScreenBlast podcast. You can check us out on fuckshitwhatever.com and Pornhub.
Check me out at fuckmesideways@gmail.com.
You can check for more ScreenBlast. Check out greasy fat bitches on Pornhub the next video.
Jesus. But of course, in reality, what do you got going in terms of the lead up to this movie? You know, like what did you yourself think as you go as director himself adjusts his camera? What did you think going into obviously the Garfield film, and just your nostalgia to Garfield briefly?
The first thing we ever got of it was Chris Pratt is the voice, and I'm like, he was just announced as Mario, because this is not too long after he was announced as Mario, and we're like, why is everyone just like casting Chris Pratt?
Yeah, right.
It was so weird. So it was like, that was not vibing with the idea.
No.
And then
a lot of people weren't vibing with the idea.
And it's like, okay, this movie's just going to be something. And then the teaser trailer came out and like, oh, okay. Then the trailer came out and like, oh, okay. It just like looks like a whatever movie. It like I have no excitement for this. But I want it to be good because I like Garfield, and I hope I want Garfield to have more of a future, and hopefully Paramount gives that to him, because this is not Paramount's this is not Paramount's take. This is Sony's take, and they somehow got the rights before to make a movie before Paramount bought the entire rights to the IP.
Next will be Disney.
So I'm not sure if this is like a general movie or a Paramount movie.
He's getting passed around. It's Fat Cat. Yes.
But yeah, Garfield excels in merchandising. Like, yeah, I have a T-shirt of him. I would like more T-shirts of him. I don't mind a plushie of him.
Yes.
So I guess. So I mean, I guess Viacom just kind of has the rights for like the merchandising sake. But like, I hope they just. I hope they have another show in the works. I feel like you can't do you. If you're going to actually try, you can't do worse than like the Garfield show from the CG one.
Yeah.
'Cause that was just boring. Stupid. But like Garfield and Friends is good. But like yeah, I guess I'm just gonna get into this movie real quick.
What?
It's just
what? I was gonna get to the movie detail real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Move the fuck on. All right, just briefly, I will say again the one positive I think when we get to the promotional stuff. Out of anything is, at least it's not a live-action CG hybrid. All right? That's the one thing. It is a full environment.
They already tried that twice, and I think both times was successful anyway.
It was successful both times. Let's get into, just briefly, the movie detail. This came out, again, mid to late May. This is an adventure comedy. Again, one of my biggest issues with this movie is, of course, that I think it should not be called the Garfield movie, but Garfield's Big Adventure. This was produced by D. Neg. Now, again... this was not made by Sony Pictures Animation. This was D. Neg, who made Ron's Gone Wrong. That was their first animated feature film. You had them do also Nimona. They worked on Nimona there. And then there was also a Cat. They're working on a Cat in the Hat in the future that will be over or distributed by Warner Brothers. So this is a new team that I think, a fairly new team that I'd like to see more of, just because they were the ones that uplifted a otherwise mid experience. This was directed by Mark Dindal. We talked about him already. We did a cartoon chat on Chicken Little. So here's another work by him. This was screenwritten by Paul Kaplan, Mark Torgove, and David Reynolds. The music was by John Debney, and its running time is an hour and a half plus 1. Oh, an hour and a half plus 10. Let's get that right. All right. So, Mark, let's actually get into the movie here.
In terms of the studio, like, they did a good job. Like, the animation is just very generic. It's very generic, like CG, like studio animation. But like, the art style is very close to like the books or the comic books. That like it says that like a lot of these characters, the only characters that don't look like Garfield-y is the 2 dog characters and the police officer.
Yeah.
But everyone else, they do have that comic like Jim Davis sort of art style look to them.
Absolutely.
And it's really good.
It translates really well in the space here. Like you said, like I wouldn't want to see a human movie, a human-centric animated feature with this team, but I like what they're doing here with how they designed the characters. I think it looks it looks great, and it makes you want to actually follow the characters and every sequence, at least just in terms of their reaction, their movements, how they walk, how bouncy they are at certain moments. It's all
that's squash and stretch. Because even though the animation and movement itself is not anything too unique, they do have good posing. Like the way Garfield, like the way he looks when he sleeps, like it's like he's posed just like he does in the comic book, and like there's a lot of fun posing with some of the characters in this.
Yes,
I like that.
Yeah, man.
Because if I had my ideal Garfield movie, it would have the same type of animation and movement like the Peanuts movie, which is a one of a kind.
Never forget, Blue Sky killed it. He killed it.
All they need to do is make another one instead of Spies in the Skies. They should have just started production immediately on like Charlie Brown 2.
Fuck Ferdinand and fuck Spies in the Skies. Worst 2 back-to-back.
Dude,
that was a terrible decision.
Are we gonna ever get like? It doesn't have to be a Peanut movie, but like, it's like because like the only other like very creative like animation type style choice is like Spider-Verse. And I guess like TMNT Mutant Mayhem is almost its own thing. It's definitely taking some inspiration from Spider-Verse.
But it's different enough. Yeah,
but it's different enough. So we got those 2 examples. But like the only other example is like it's like lightning in a bottle that just like came and left. I hope we get like something else that just tries to animate like Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, that was special. That was such a joy to watch because again, you didn't expect visually how well it translated when you see that movie in theaters. And obviously, you can still get that experience on the screen, but it was great to see on a big screen.
Yes.
So, that was very well executed.
Any studio, if you're listening, just try to copy off that style, man. It just needs to go somewhere. Because Blue Sky is dead. If nobody's using it, somebody has to.
Even South Park, I mean...
fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. But, Garfield, though. I think this movie suffers, obviously, from the, in brief summary, again, this is not Garfield's movie, really. This is Garfield's Big Adventure.
Garfield's father, the movie.
It's more or less about... It includes characters it doesn't need to. We go on these massive quests that we don't necessarily need to. And we have a love situation between 2 cows that we didn't need. But again, this is a typical C Hollywood animated movie in terms of story. That's what we get here.
Dude, the first 15, 20 minutes, fantastic.
Yes.
That was fun. That's very Garfield. I wish they found some way to keep it that way or keep it within that vibe because it was a Garfield cartoon on a big screen. And you just get Garfield's life. Why they correctly showcase why he hates Mondays because everyone always asks, why does Garfield hate Mondays? He doesn't have a job. No, he hates Mondays because Monday is like his Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Fucking bad shit happens to him on Mondays. And Mondays fucks with him all the time. And then they showcase that. And they just do a lot of things right. And it's I love his antics around the house, fucking with John, making Odie his personal slave.
Yes.
It's all fun stuff. And it's and then they walked away from it and start a heist movie.
Sort of heist movie, and a typical, like, all right, well, father-son, and
Father-son bonding.
and then he never gets a chance to tell the son what actually happened, but you know what happens, and it's all pretty obvious. But again, like, you'll see this story from a mile away. Notably,
I've seen this dynamic before. You don't care about me. No, it's a misunderstanding. You don't care about me. It's a misunderstanding. Later in the movie, whoa, it was a misunderstanding.
Exactly, and you care about.
I misunderstood him.
Yeah. Yep. And again, on top of that, you have the big bad, who you don't really need, but is there to add extra suspense and a threat to the overall movie, or keep the pace moving at certain points, because you can't feel. That's what, again, when we came out of this theater, or came out of the theater experience, we were like, wow, like, it seems like they didn't know how to fill time, because they just stuck to generic, time extending plot lines. I mean, because again, the first 15 minutes are great, and there's a lot that you could do, I think, with that time.
Nothing's at stake. The biggest tie to this movie is, like, if they don't do anything, the dogs will just beat them up and kill them, probably.
I mean, their lives are at stake. That's I think, a pretty big thing if your name's on the title card.
Yeah.
He also gets dragged into. I mean, again,
he's dragged into it. He's
not really involved at all, but he gets forcibly dragged in. I think, again, I talked about this after the theater as well. I do think that the whole break-in, there's this whole other additional plot line of they need to, again, the whole thing is that the main antagonist wants Garfield and his dad to break into a farm place to get some milk, because, again, there's a whole backstory with that's very rushed explained. And to get a lot of milk, while they're on the way to do that, they find one of the mascots. He wants them to help him free his wife cow. They're both cows. So now we're on this quest to free them, and in the middle of it, it basically turns into Chicken Run, but not good.
More of Chicken Run 2, because that was Chicken Run's a breakout movie. Chicken Run 2 is a heist movie where they had to break in.
Gotcha.
You got to see Chicken Run 2. So we talk shit about it.
Sounds good. So either way, they have to break in, and again, the evil person, by the way, played by Maya Rudolph again, who plays the evil woman in TMNT, Mutant Mayhem.
Oh.
So that's 2 for 2. And that's funny. She really can play these voice roles very well, because you don't hear. I didn't hear, because
honestly, she's kind of the same character.
She's the same character, but different voices. Because you don't hear the Superfly. Like, that's a different voice from the Canadian person we've got in this one, which I like. If you're going to use the same voice actress, then have her do some different stuff. Don't have her be Aquafina. Have her be a little bit different, and I appreciate that. That's one thing I can appreciate in this movie.
Yeah, you mentioned me, man. I kind of want to watch that movie again.
Yeah. So, like, everything there, even, like, you mentioned that we can mention the train sequence. That's familiar. That's some familiar shit where you've seen it a million times. That you just need to add something that's super big and bombastic. And again, I think at the end of the day, like, I don't have too much more to say about this movie. But that it will be fine for the average moviegoer, I think. I think that if my mom went to see this, she would like it, because it's got some. Here's the thing. Let me. I don't want to underplay again. The art direction, the flow of the characters, the situational humor is great. There's a lot of good comedy there, but it's bogged down by a very generic story that you've seen a million times, that goes the same direction that you've seen a million times, and that actually does destroy the potential that this movie has.
It attempts to play at the heartstrings too much, because there was plenty of times where they keep doing flashbacks to, like, Kid and Garfield and the dad, and they play that they escalate with that violin piano music.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, I get it.
Yes, but
I'm pretty sure somebody's crying, guys. All right, I get the point.
Exactly. Like,
I'm not too big when movies try to go too hard on that.
I do like that it's Garfield's fault. That is fun. I don't know why they made it essentially Garfield's fault, but it's Garfield's fault. He ran off. He wanted food. I don't know why they made that the plot. Like, they made him, as a baby, run off. It just seems like, I don't know why make him be the one to
And his father was pretty much stalking him the whole time.
And his father was just, yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, I give this, again, I think it's a 6. I love the animation. I love the art design. I love the fluidity of the characters. I love the design. I love the situational humor. But I think someone said it best. Nick Offerman would have been great for Garfield. I kind of got used to Chris Pratt's voice, but I still think that someone better should have taken over.
I think with somebody who isn't Chris Pratt, that's just it.
Yes.
I think,
he's great, by the way.
Because Chris Pratt is just going to do his voice. He's not trying to do a Garfield voice. I think somebody who will attempt to do a Garfield voice is good enough.
I think the only time...
Because we got Bill Murray, and Bill Murray was just trying to do Bill Murray.
And again, I will say, the only time that the only time I believe that he was Garfield truly, because you situationally have him as Garfield in the beginning. But I think when he's in that train car, and he's like sitting there, and he's upset, and he's like kind of low. His voice is kind of low, and he's doing like that delivery felt more, because the expressiveness and his delivery felt more Garfield-y to me in that moment than almost any time in the movie. Then I think that's the only time where I actually felt like, oh yeah, this makes sense.
Oh, like what I'm asking for, I just want somebody to like try to mimic as much as they can, or get close to delivery and like cadence of Lorenzo Music, who was the original voice of Garfield, and then like the Garfield and Friends show, and like the old specials too.
Absolutely.
Lorenzo Music's voice, when you listen to it as Garfield's just A1. It's irreplaceable. There's like no other Garfield will be as fantastic as Lorenzo Music, but like somebody can try. Anybody can try.
Good luck, losers. Yeah, Garfield though. What would you give it?
A 6 out of 10 is like if you're a fan of Garfield, this won't satisfy you, but it's there. You'll like the first 20 minutes, and you'll be like, okay, that's a thing. Because I'm a fan of Garfield, and I thought, okay, that's all right. And the weird thing is, I was wondering if they were going to insinuate that the fat cat lady, the villain,
was the mom.
Yeah,
that's what. Yeah, I was like, for a second.
Because like we never hear about Garfield's mom, and like who the fuck did Vic have sex with?
Because again, like when we
as far as the movie's telling us, he only knew his crew and the lady cat.
Yeah, because the only time because in the beginning not the beginning, but the first bit where they're in the mall and they're like talking, it's like, okay, all right. So did you guys? No, they didn't. Okay, all right. So then this was just a fling, I guess.
Yeah, keep in mind, I don't know about the comics, but I know there was an old special called Garfield. I think Garfield Comes to Town, and in that Garfield meets his mother. So his mother is a pre-existing character.
Right.
Vic is not a pre-existing character, at least as far as I know. Like he's a new character for this movie.
Right.
So, I mean, they could have tied in the story of Garfield and his mom, but like I mean I doubt they're saving that for anything. It's just like fans will probably scratch us if we get the lore of Garfield's mom incorrect. So we're just gonna make up a new lore. He was dropped off near a pasta place by his dad.
There you go. Ta-da. That's the revolutionary idea. So.
The only other Garfield voice I don't want people to mimic is Frank Welker, because he's the Garfield voice for that CG show.
Yeah.
And like he's just
not.
Yeah, he's just not that good.
So
he's.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he's passable for that incarnation, but he's not really a good voice.
Cool beans.
All right. He sounds like this. He's trying to do. This is Garfield. Let me eat some lasagna, John.
Yeah,
it's kind of crackly. It's just not really.
It doesn't execute. Garfield. For the first time, I'll say, hey, check out one of Beanig's other movies. Nimona is better than this, so go ahead and check.
Watch a couple episodes of Garfield and Friends.
There you go.
I got like 3 seasons on DVD.
And Mark will give some of them to. Mark will share some of them with you guys if you'd like. So go ahead, check them out.
Yeah, come to Bryan's house.
I don't know why the fuck they would come
to Bryan's house. I'll start the DVD player. We'll all watch some Garfield and Friends together in his living room.
Yes, indeed.
And he'll provide snacks.
We'll take it.
Bryan got a lot. He has a lot of good snacks.
We'll be right back.
His address and zip code and social security number is all in the description.